Let's just be honest. When we say we want to save time, we actually mean that we want to do less work. And there's nothing wrong with that. This doesn't make you lazy. This actually makes you very smart. The key is the follow through. It's possible to do less work when you're honest with yourself about what it takes to actually do focused work. I have found 5 habits that have helped me to achieve that deep focus in my work. I can avoid procrastination with them, save time, and ultimately cut my work days in half. Starting with the Notecard Rule. If you've been around this channel recently, you know I'm completely and utterly obsessed with index cards. I could be out and about, I could be in my kitchen, I could be sitting here filming a video. If something comes to mind for me, I write it down on a note card immediately. The biggest thing about this is making sure that the things that pop up in your head don't stay there. You know what it's like to have overwhelm and procrastination be completely debilitating. If there is anything that has allowed me to feel like I can prevent, to the best of my ability, any of that happening, it is writing things down on a note card. Mostly because there's not a lot of perfection that goes into this. You can scribble away, you can get the ideas out of your head and onto paper quickly, and that is a game changer most of the time. Our overwhelm tends to come from too many things that we're keeping in our mind rather than organizing in some other way. By offering yourself a rule that you're gonna go to the simplest resource possible, it could be a note card, a post-it note, it can be an app on your phone if you agree that it is not going to be distracting. Maybe you have a widget on your home screen that you can get to quickly so you don't forget and then go to Instagram. You're much more likely to avoid the procrastination and overwhelm of task management because you're not trying to file it up here and try to remember it for later. I have the note card rule because I know that I don't care what this thing looks like once I've scribbled on it. If it has what I need in terms of information written down, then I know what to do with it next, and I can make sure that it is not taking up precious space up here so that I can move on with the important things. I've got more details about how I leverage note cards and then process them in my productivity system in a video linked down below. The next habit is hardest tasks first. You may have heard the phrase eat the frog before. You got to eat the frog before you do anything else. Why? Because eating a frog sounds like a horrible, exhausting, not fun time. I mean, how better way to explain a task that you're procrastinating on or a project that feels really big? It is so easy to pop open email and think, I'm doing my hardest task first because this is going to be a lot of challenging, exhausting communication and tracking. But you're actually opening up lots of other little things that you can do instead of that big project that you probably need to chip away at. So I have the habit of always making sure to focus on the hardest task first. I'm not opening email. I'm not even replying to text messages. I'm not doing the little data entry things that I know are the simplest, most mindless work that I could possibly be doing. None of those things are going to be first on the docket. I know what my hardest task is, and it's going to be the first thing I sit down at my desk to do each day that I go to work. Maybe this is personal life for you. If you have a big project that you have to do over the weekend, let's say it's clean out the garage or sort out the closet, you gotta get to it as quickly as possible first thing. Don't go switching the laundry and then maybe unloading the dishwasher. Those are those menial tasks that you know you're gonna do at some point anyway, but you had that big other project that you haven't started at and began to procrastinate on by choosing the smaller tasks first. Agree with yourself that the hardest task has to come first, even if you only work on it for a few minutes, something I'm gonna talk about later in this video. By always agreeing that I'm going to do the hardest thing first thing in the morning or at the earliest part of the working moment of the day, I'm always able to do so much more of it than I anticipated, if not getting all of it done, because that's the best feeling, being able to start and finish something whenever possible. My third habit is time blocking tasks. Time blocking is an amazing tactic for improving productivity and minimizing procrastination. You have seen countless videos on this channel for the last 6 years about calendar blocking, time batching, and all of that because I have been such a believer for so long. If time blocking is something that you're interested in integrating or improving in your productivity process, then you're going to love the sponsor of this segment of the video, which is our friends at AccuFlow. I've been talking about time blocking for a really long time, but something that you may not know is that my approach to it has certainly changed over that time. My method before was much more about filling up as much space with blocking as possible on my calendar. So it was never unclear about what the task was or what I should be focused on or what I should be doing. But over time, certainly with my lifestyle changing, my business changing, I have found that the white space on my calendar is much more enjoyable to observe. So now when I'm time blocking, I like to have as much focus and as little time taken up on my calendar as possible with appointments and tasks. This is what inspired me to stop doing all of my time batching just on Google Calendar and move over to AccuFlow. Not only is it allowing me to be much more intentional with my time blocking strategy, but it makes the process of finding the tasks and curating them and finding the space on the calendar to do them so much more seamless and almost automatic. AccuFlow is an intuitive time blocking system that streamlines the task management process. There are so many integrations possible with AccuFlow. Some of the most popular productivity apps that we know digitally, like Gmail, Google Calendar, Slack, Notion, Trello, even TickTick, which is my favorite task management software, I can integrate that with the power of IFTTT. So when you have an email that's correlating to a task, you can easily star it and it'll show up in your AccuFlow. And the seamlessness just continues to go on depending on the app and how you set it up. We have all these tasks and projects that we're organizing in all of these different places, and sometimes very necessarily, especially if it's how you work with your team or how you work with your coworkers, or even how you get things done with your family life, with your partner and anyone else. AccuFlow is giving you the opportunity to curate all of those things in one place so that you can easily find a way to time batch and calendar block it into your life. I really love to find like tasks and batch them together. So if there's different things I need to film, I want to try to film them all in the same sitting so that I get the most done during that time slot of filming. If it's just some phone calls that I need to make, I try to knock them all out during a phone call batch, and I'll schedule all of those together. But just simply being able to drag over from the inbox to the calendar is what makes this so much easier for me to plan and fulfill and execute when it comes time to sit down and just do the work. So when I sit down to AccuFlow, all I have to do is go through my inbox and see all of the outstanding tasks that need to have time made for them. And then I can sit down, do my weekly planning, and see where the best time slots are for those items. My calendar is already populating. I have tasks in the inbox. I just drag over the things I need to do at appropriate times to execute them. And if you want a little bit of help to get going, or you feel like you could take more advantage of all the amazing features AccuFlow has to offer, they even offer an onboarding call. It's a one-on-one call with one of their experts where you can get all of those questions answered that are specific to how you best get work done. Take control of your schedule and start time blocking. If you take nothing else from this video, this habit will totally change your life. It has for me. And I highly recommend that you use AccuFlow. There's a link in the description down below for you to get started today. My next habit for increasing productivity and helping me cut my workday in half is the 2-minute rule. It sounds counterintuitive, but in all actuality, it helps combat procrastination at the highest level. I've made a video about this before. You should check it out if you'd like to be a little entertained and get more details on it. But the reality is we don't get things done because we don't start. And sometimes we just have to agree to give it 2 minutes. If something I need to do is not happening day after day after day after day, and now I've seen it on my list of things, and I know that it is at a toxic level of procrastination, I have to give it the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is very simple. Sit down, agree to work on the task for 2 minutes. Set a big, obnoxious timer in front of you for just 2 minutes and agree to shut everything else off and focus on the one thing that you need to chip away at that can no longer be procrastinated on for at least 2 minutes. It sounds like nothing. It almost is nothing. And that's what makes it so approachable. And in that time, it is possible for you to at least create a new thought or a new need or a new task that makes it a little bit more possible to achieve it. When we need the 2-minute rule, it's usually on a project that feels so big that we're debilitated by it. We need to find the chunk, the small bite that we can take out of it right now. And that's what's possible with the 2-minute rule. Even if you can't get to the point of completion of a small bite in that amount of time, you can figure out what a small bite would be. And in that 2 minutes, achieve at least the confidence that this thing is possible. It's amazing how just not having the confidence of being able to finish something will keep us from starting it at all. And if you can't get anything else out of that 2 minutes, you might get that confidence that you need desperately. And my fifth and final habit is the weekly review. This one is growing to be my favorite habit. I actually look forward to sitting down and being like, what are all the things? You've got tasks in the task manager. You've got AccuFlow that needs scheduled for calendar blocking. You've got little pieces of mail that you got throughout the week. And you're like, I need to deal with that. I need to pay that bill. I need to send that form in. The weekly review lets you go through all of it and is truly this moment of, wow, I have my life together. I'm so passionate about the weekly review. I even made a 45-minute walkthrough video for you to be able to do something similar. It literally takes you through prompt by prompt how to effectively get things done at the end of every week, or if you prefer at the beginning, I like to do it on Friday afternoons, where I will sit down and I will go through every outstanding task, every outstanding project, every outstanding note card, piece of paper, piece of mail, and process it. Sometimes you're just gonna say, don't need to do that ever. Not going to. Get rid of it. And in other situations, you're just going to say, this is not a priority. We're scheduling it for next week. But to me, the best part is being able to sit down and see what do the next 7 days have on deck, and scheduling it out and planning it out and knowing what needs to be done, so that when I wake up Monday morning, I'm not just floundering to figure out, what am I supposed to be doing? I've already gone through it. I've already prioritized. I already know what the process is. I'm going to do the hardest things first. I'm going to make sure that everything has been booked for the certain amount of time that it actually needs. And I'm not going to let myself check email so I can find some other distraction that will tell me what to do with my time, because I've already taken the authority of deciding what it is for myself. Now, this is still useful for you if you're not like me, self-employed, your own boss, and no one's telling you that you have to do something. You can do the weekly review. You can follow all of these habits and have them be beneficial for you, especially when you have a boss who's constantly calling you into their office, or family that has a lot of commitments that they need your help with. If nothing else, if you can't actually cut your workday in half because you have to show up for a certain amount of time, you can still be more efficient and show up at the highest level with the execution of these habits. And it's going to make you even more valuable because it leaves time for you to improve in even more important talents and skill sets that will level you up in many ways. But you wouldn't even have time to think about that if you don't at least try some of these habits.